What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week for the reveal for Silks Auctions. Squid, take it away.
Guys, exciting week this week. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna be revealing the same 10 horses, but two of the horses out of the 10, Troy and Chuck will be picking, and now those two horses will go up on Friday for the reverse auction. But throughout the week, the reverse will be going, lowering in price until Friday. More information on times and everything for that reverse auction will be posted tomorrow, Tuesday, with the catalog. So we're going to switch up the system. Last week we tried it out, so I've seen like some community members were super excited for the reverse auction. So until we find, exactly the best formula for this that works for everyone in the community, we'll keep on testing stuff up. But how's everyone's past weekend?
It was good. Question: Chuck and I are going to pick the two horses for the Dutch. Can Chuck and I set the price to start it out at?
I think that would be fun. I think you guys could you guys could even do the starting price and the price it goes down to. I think we did the reverse auction down to 0.25 last time, but you guys could pick the starting price and what it goes down to also.
That's cool.
Etha's was red hot today.
Yes, it was.
People are wanting to get the cash out of the banks that are going under.
It dropped down under 15 a few days ago, and that was the perfect time for me to buy. So
That's why they call you the master of crypto.
I have my markings. Okay.
Well, that's why they call you Ben Marks.
Yeah. How's it going, Troy?
Doing well. Doing well. So Chuck, we bred to Bolto Oro today.
Nice.
Congrats.
So Bolto Oro's on the opposite side of the whole farm at Spender
Really? He's by himself?
by himself.
That's the way it should be.
Literally,
He gets a suite.
he's in an undisclosed location.
I
You
like
need,
it.
you need passes to find him.
I'm a big Bolty Oro guy. That's my horse.
All right, here we go. Chuck, get ready.
Here we go. Come on, horse.
Into mischief.
Into mischief.
Wow. There we go. Started off.
Yep, red hot. We're back, boys.
With the banger.
Wow. Okay.
For some odd reason, I think that we might already have a horse that's going in the duck horse.
Yeah, this one might be popular, won't he? I don't think he'll last till Friday. A nice Into Mischief colt out of a graded winning mare who's produced a horse already. Solid second dam was Foxy Dancer was a good horse, and it's been a good producer. I mean, this is the type of horse with the pedigree that people want.
There's really you can't say anything about this horse, right? Other than this is a horse that you want to own. Period.
Did we get the auction price for this horse? The real life auction.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now. For some reason, oh, that's why. That's why. All right, let's see. Let's see what it is, Chuck.
I'm gonna guess it was not bad.
You think it was pretty good?
Yeah, it was probably pretty good.
Let's see what I got here for you. So here we go. Let me give you a little insight and information here, Chuck. The 2019 Philly by Quality Road
Yeah.
It sold for $400,000.
Okay.
And the other ones were not sold. The 21 and 22 models, both to Into Mischief.
Wow.
They,
Well,
they were not sold.
sometimes that's a good thing.
Sure looks that way. So I'll give you another little bit of information. So the 2020 Into Mischief, that shows it's a cult that shows that also that it went through a sale. It went to 2 sales, but in 2021, as a yearling, it sold for $600,000 to the China Horse Club.
Wow. Well, that's
And here, I'll give you another bit of information, guys. The Into Mischief, the 2021 that we're talking about, RNA'd for $400,000. So the reason why we don't have it is because it RNA'd. But that it went RNA'd for $400,000. This colt right here.
well, that's a good starting point. It'll be a
So
little
there
less
you
than
go.
it'll be a little less than 400,000 in the Dutch auction, but
You know,
I'm
just by a few shekels.
Are you
thinking
sure?
thinking this one will be popular.
I would say this one's going a minimum of 2 ETH.
I don't think you guys know how reverse auctions
I think we might start that at 5 ETH.
Air Force Blue.
Okay, well, this one's a little more modest than the pedigree side. And I like the fact that it's Stone Farm bred the horse. They breed good, solid race horses. They make their races and they race a lot. It's where Sunday Silence was owned and bred by Arthur Hancock and Stone Farm. This is out of an unraced mare by Candy Ride, who's a half to a long distance turf horse. Left a message. Was a grass horse that ran a mile and a half on the turf. You go
And
back
let's
to the
not forget that Candy Ride also produced Gun Runner, right?
yeah
Another great stallions too. So that pedigree's there.
yeah
And
Candy
the fourth
Ride, good.
Exchange Rate, who is probably one of the best broodmare sires still to date, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because if you look at the pedigree, you see the second dam left a message by Mr. Greeley. She's, like you said, a long distance turf horse. An Exchange Rate was really a really good sprinter. It was really good at 7/8. He could stretch out a little bit more than a mile and a 16th, but two of the better horses in the pedigree have doing completely different things, and that's always kind of interesting. But Arthur Hancock raises good horses. He always has. They're raised like race horses. So
Yeah.
this horse will be. She'll make the races and maybe win a couple of races.
All right, number 3. Let's see it. I'll have another.
I'll have another. It's got to be a California bred.
Oh,
There we go. You
close.
called it.
It is. Let's go.
Look at
California
that.
bred out of a dam who was probably a California bred. Yeah, she was running in California bred stakes. So I'm assuming she was a Calibred too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's
Another
Tribal
regional program, and it's a Breeders' Cup nominated as well, which, like you had pointed out last week, a lot of these regional program horses are not Breeders' Cup eligible. They don't pay the extra money, but this one was, and that's always a good sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. People, there's just those little things people don't realize. Like, to nominate a horse to the Breeders' Cup, you have to do it very early, and I think it's $400 or $450 per horse. And when you have 10 or 15 horses, or 20 or 25 horses, it adds up. And even though people might not look at $400 in the racing game as, a lot of money, but sooner or later, during certain parts of the year, you do look to cut down costs, and one of them, a lot of people, is that Breeders' Cup nominated part of paying that fee. So they must think pretty highly of this horse right here, and he's got a pretty good name, Another Monkey.
Hopefully not another green monkey.
Mastery. There was a Mastery that just won the other day.
Yeah, Shug McGahee has one. That's pretty good. Ran at Tampa on Saturday.
Yeah. Who's by Candy Ride too, and then you got the dam side. Is a giant causeway where you can't ask better than that on the dam side.
No, the curling, my first Grammys, got 3 wins, made $200,000. The second dam has some strong black type. I mean, St. Martin was a good horse in New York. Sweet Lips was a, I believe, was a Florida bred. But she's done good. Nero was a Derby Trail horse. He won the Arkansas Derby, finished second in the Kentucky Derby about 10 years ago. So there's definitely some pedigree here. Mastery he's not real popular, but he does have some winners out there. And
yeah, so this horse, his name is Pick Up the Tab. I don't know if it shows it, but that's his name, Pick Up the Tab. And Oscar Barrera III purchased this horse himself. So I'm guessing that they're going to race him in New York. It was a $9,000 purchase out of the OBS yearling sale, which is a sale that the prices are a little less. But interesting fact that the Curlin, the 2017 Curlin that Chuck, you were just talking about, that made $196,000. That horse was only purchased for $57,000. And Curlin's stud fee, as we know now, is $225, and I think in 2017 it might have been $150 or $175. So this pedigree doesn't really bring a lot of money in the sales ring for some reason, but they make some really nice racehorses. The 2015 Street Sense, who made $55,000, was sold for $8,000. So it definitely looks like they're breeding to try to make this mare, because they were bred to Mineshaft, Curlin, Kitten's Joy, Street Sense, Violence, Mastery back and forth, for 2 years in a row, and then bred to Violent Minister, who, is a Florida style. So definitely worth taking a chance, especially now, going to New York, racing for that kind of money. And at the same time, in New York during certain parts of the year, like winter, the racing is very short fields, and maybe not as tough of a competition as, of course, during the summer or spring. So you can make some really good money in New York. So this is a pretty interesting purchase right here.
Oh, Divine One. It's got a name.
Again, just, right off the bat, Maryland bred, great breeders program. You just make a ton of money there. And, you look at the third dam and all you see is black type and some pretty good purse money, made. And then you look even at the second dam that has produced the same kind of Maryland breds. One made 162, one made 100. This is the second foal None of them started, so the one that should start should be coming up anytime. Hopefully this year. If you're interested in regional programs, especially Maryland, this horse is definitely something you should not, turn a cheek to. This is definitely a horse to look at, and it's also eligible for the Maryland Million. So
It's true, and if you look down the pedigree, you'll see a lot of Maryland Million success from this family. So that's something that you have in your corner with a horse like this, being a Maryland Million bred, being a Maryland bred. You know where they're going to be racing, and you also know that if the horse shows some ability, you're going to have a whole group of restricted stake races to shoot for. So the only thing I would note on this horse is it's a later foal, so it's a June 4th foal, so it won't be running before June. But Maryland doesn't run any type of stake races, and I don't even know they run a lot of maiden races that early, anyways. So you'd be looking for this one this summer and early fall.
yes.
The fact.
The fact. I got to tell you, I love mine.
That's out of a young mare, a Broken Vow mare. The 4th dam is that's a Ogden, the Phipps family. Fantastic Girl was a fantastic look. Those were all bred by Claiborne Farm. So tremendous amount of really, really good horses that far back. The 2nd dam, Troy, if you got the numbers on her, just
to
know,
see what the horse is sold for.
yeah, because they thought enough of Gold Rush Cat, who had 5 wins, but didn't earn a whole lot of money. So I'm sure they weren't, those are a small track, but they thought enough of her to breed her to the Factor. So
So the 2000, so out of the Girl of Gold, the 2002 model, who was a Giant Causeway, sold for 290,000. The 2003 was 280,000. Just bouncing around a little bit. You got the Super Saver in 2012, who was a horse called Hauler, 325,000. The Empire Maker in 2007, who did not go through a sale, made 220,000 as a horse. And believe it or not, the mare I never even heard of a horse called Night Warden, but they put it in 2019. But amazingly, the Girl of Gold, had 11 foals, 10 starters. So it's definitely a racing family. And a lot of these horses, again, have gone through numerous sales, breeding horse sales. So after they retired, they sold them as, of course, brood mares or whatever. And some of them, again, sold for 500,000, 350,000. Just huge prices. And again, just like you said, Chuck, because of the Phipps family name of down in the pedigree page. So it's one of those young pedigrees, like you said, and it's it looks like the 2nd dam might have passed away because they only had one horse, right? And that one horse raced until he was 7 years old to make 200,000. So there's nothing to say why this pedigree won't come back to life. And using a horse like the Factor is a really good way to start.
yeah, sometimes though, something unfortunate like that happens and a horse passes away, and it kind of screws the pedigree up a little bit, because you get a dam that just doesn't have anything going on, because obviously she can't have foals if she's not alive. But with a young dam like this, you really got to look more at the 3rd and 4th dams, who are very good.
And both foals that she had were bred to the factor. So, and this mare was not bred back either. So I don't know if something happened to this mare either, but she was only bred twice, and they didn't even try to breed her back in 2022. So unfortunately, there might have been a mishap with her also. So this pedigree is going to be, a little scattered. But this is a filly, so maybe they'll keep it alive when with this horse after she retires.
Mm-hmm.
B Jersey. Spendrift.
New Jersey actually had a really good start for a horse that was at a low level, starting out price wise. B Jersey had a lot of winners last year as a 2-year-old, and had a couple Breeders' Cup runners too. The one filly Biancone trains.
Yeah.
She's a graded stakes winner already. She broke her maiden at Gulfstream in the fall by 15. But B Jerseys have been running, and there's been, they've been winning at the big tracks too, not just small tracks. Sometimes horses will get, stallions will get a lot of wins early, but they're not at the higher level tracks. But B Jerseys have been doing well in California, Kentucky, and New York, and Florida. So this one's got some decent pedigree. The dam was ran in Europe early and was imported to the U.S. But I mean, she was a grade 3 placed horse across the pond, and wound up being placed in a stake race at Delaware too. So
this horse, this B Jersey horse that we're talking about, was sold for $45,000 in the in Fassig's October yearling sale.
yeah, and I think B Jersey.
I don't think we had that, but it was sold for $45,000.
And I think B Jersey went to stud at 5,000 or 7,500.
Yep.
So that's quite a bit more than than you'd expect from a stallion at that price level. But there's lots of pedigree.
Amazingly, Perfect Soul. When they started this mare, they bred to Perfect Soul for 7 years in a row. And then they switched.
It's probably owned by Chuck Fipke, because he stands Perfect Soul, and he raced and stands B Jersey. So he's had a tremendous amount of success. He ran a horse the other day, Shrill Spite, in Japan, and a grade 1. He won the Tasmanian Derby or Tasmanian Oaks in New Zealand a couple weeks back. He's had success in Europe. He's got success in Canada and the US, and he's got he doesn't have a high profile program, and he does it himself. He doesn't partner up with anyone else, but his horses, he's been a very, very wildly successful guy. He made his money as a mining diamonds, of all things.
So I will tell you that Patrick Hopel bought this horse for $45,000. So I'm guessing it's going to be in the if it's not in the March sale, it's going to be in the April sale at OBS. So we'll see how well it does there. But interesting enough, the broodmare, Aaron S., the first sale, she sold for $290,000. The year after that, she sold for $550,000, and the year after that, or 3 years after that, she sold for $335,000. So it shows a consistent part that they really thought that broodmare was going to produce something. Like you said, they kept on going to this Perfect Soul. But interesting enough, like I said, we'll see this horse in the OBS sale, just because of the person who bought him. So we'll see her really very soon
Yeah, probably in the
a
April.
new valuation for this horse.
Yeah.
There
It's a
we
nice
go.
one.
Little practical joke.
It's got to be out of Uncle Mo, or something like that. You know, interesting. A New York bred practical joke is a top Kentucky stallion. A matter of fact, there is a horse on the Kentucky Derby Trail that's a practical joke this year. So
Practical Move is one of the favorites.
yeah.
He also, Practical Joke, just had a winner at Aqueduct. Little Vic won the Tom Fool a couple weeks back, 2 weeks ago. That's a grade 3 race at Aqueduct. That's from his 4-year-old crop. And he had another horse earlier this year that was placed at Oaklawn in a graded stake, sprinting Tejano Twist. So he's off to a good start, and being a New York bred gives you kind of you get the luxury of having a good young stallion that's off to a good start, and you also have the New York bred program to to take advantage of.
Yeah, and one of the top racing syndicates, Eclipse Partners, they bought the horse in partnership with Mike Rapoli, who also
Eclipse
owns
bought this
Uncle
horse?
Mo. What's that?
Eclipse bought this horse?
Eclipse and Rapoli as
Wow,
partners.
okay.
So,
This will probably be with Todd Bletcher.
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, so the horse is definitely going to be, of course, racing in New York with one of the biggest and, of course, most successful trainers. So this horse has a legitimate shot in New York, and it's the first fall. This is if you want a New York bred, this is going to be on the top of the list.
Yeah, no doubt.
World of Trouble, Chuck's middle name.
That's actually
Louisiana bred.
Wow, Louisiana bred by World of Trouble. I mean, we talked about World of Trouble a couple of weeks back. He was a super fast turf sprinter, and there's lots of turf sprints these days. But his horses should come out running. They should come out early, and this is out of a good mare for Medaglia d'Oro mare for Louisiana bred. You have stakes in all three all three of the mares shown, and you go back to the third dam, and there's lots of really good pedigree. Tight Spot was champion turf horse. He won Arlington Million. He was a top horse for a couple of years. Valiant Nature was a really good horse. I mean, these are like best horses in the country type horses. And that's in the pedigree of a horse that's a Louisiana bred. So, talk about the regional programs. This is the type of horse that you want to race in Louisiana. The one thing about the Louisiana program, too, is that it is more tilted towards sprint races. Some of the tracks like Evangeline, they're bull rings, which means they're not, mile tracks. They're less than a mile track. So, the sprint horses seem like they have a big advantage in that program. You want a horse that's got speed, and stamina is not really where it's at in Louisiana. But this is a horse for a Louisiana bred, a lot of pedigree.
Yeah, I'll give you some background in the pedigree. The 2014 fall Secret House, which was a Tisnow, was $125,000 purchase. Made $278,000. In 2016, had a Arch Colt, $410,000 purchase, and then you have in 2018 American Pharaoh, which at that time was about $125,000 stud fee. That horse only brought in $22,000. and then made 240,000. In 2019, they brought in a Union Rags, which in 2019 his 50,000, and he brought 45,000 through the sale. And then you got World of Trouble, whose stud fee I believe is $10,000, and he brings $35,000. Who's a late May, colt at the OBS sale. So, like you said, I absolutely agree with you with the speed, and probably the mare itself is they're thinking that it is is a speedy filly too, because they bred the horse back in 23 to Lexingtonian, who was a Speightstown, who was a speed horse too. So Louisiana bred, World of Trouble, speed, like you said, Chuck. I think this is a really good purchase for a local program.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now to round out this week's group.
That's it.
This is it.
All right.
Oh, come on.
Chuck and Troy will review the horses. They're thinking about putting up for reverse auction, and all the information should be out tomorrow in the catalog. So super
Well,
exciting week.
we got this last New York bred right here, 300 grand. Who again is Uncle Mo out of, Laban was Uncle Mo stallion. He did pass away this year. And we did have a little of an accident here just before, if you heard that crash, but this pedigree is pretty well.
Yeah, it's a nice pedigree. There's a stake source,
back.
right? Stake source right in the first dam. Attachment rate, who's a half brother to this colt. He was second in the Ellis Park Derby. He's third in the Gotham. He was third in the Commonwealth. So he's racing at the top tier tracks. Everybody's one out of that family. The second dam is very, very strong. There's top flight black type everywhere. Bad Data Link was the horse Shug McGee trained. It was very, very good for a number of years.
And a stallion.
And a stallion, right? And this is a horse that's a New York bred. So that's also something to really keep in mind. And $150,000 purchase price for New York breds.
300.
Well, excuse me, 300. Yeah, I was giving you the 50% discount. Yeah, that's there's something there, So we had a lot of regional horses this week, but regional horses are where it's at. If you want to race, they race more often than the horses that are Kentucky breds in a lot of ways, because they run when the races are, and there's a set schedule. And like for New York breds, there's just all kinds of different races, and this is a horse, by a stallion that was really producing good horses, really good horses, and as Troy said, unfortunately passed away. But his record was outstanding, and again, this is another really good horse this week.
Yeah, so let me give you a little background on the family. In 2013, first horse this mare produced was out of a sire called Arch, $260,000 purchase. Next year was a Blame, $120,000 purchase. Malibu Moon 120, hard spun, $160,000. The hard spun made $240,000, which was the best producing horse. They went to a Classic Empire, who again is really turning out to be a nice stallion, and then they bred it to this horse, for $300,000. But what's interesting, they had 8 foals, 5 starters, 5 winners. Basically, you're getting a racehorse, like you said. I'm just going through, some of the pedigree, for the fillies also. and the people that are buying them, you know, these are very solid individuals that are looking to make this pedigree. You know, one of the horses back in 2000 and what year, 19, Calumet Farm bought the horse, Oracle. You know, Ferguson Galvin, Bill Wrightster. So there's really very, very solid people that are purchasing this pedigree, and definitely in a local program, it is lights out. Myself personally, Chuck, this is my pick for the reverse Dutch auction.
Okay.
I'm starting this. I'm going to be at a discount when I say this. This is a discount. I just want to. You know, I'm in the giving mood right now because, you know, we had warm weather. Now it's cold, and I just want to warm up again. I'm going to say I'm starting this horse out at 3 ETH.
Wow. There we go.
Okay.
And I will tell you this: if there's a couple of ticks down, people have lost their mind.
3
All right,
ETH.
that wraps
So-
us up. Some great.
Well, we know
horses.
who will be bidding in the auction this week.
Yeah, if he doesn't buy this horse,
Yeah.
it's not a good look.
I was going
All
to say that.
So, we'll see everyone, and good luck for you know, at the auctions.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
You guys next week. Thanks.
But